as far as insurance goes, what were some of the big things that happened in insurance in 2022?
Well, I mean, the insurance domain is a giant domain. I think the insurance industry has got a couple of big changes going on the sort of life health side of the insurance business. There's been a refocusing of those organizations towards wealth management, asset management, and part of the reason for that is they see the opportunity to grow their business and deliver great value to their clients by having a combined insurance, health, and wealth or capability across for their clients and deliver an end-to-end service. So I think that's a big deal in that side of the business. On the P&C insurance side of the business, I think there's continued evolution in the way they operate. But in general, I would say that it's sort of been fairly steady. Of course, the fact that the chip market has been a little behind from a supply chain perspective has limited the number of vehicles that were sold, and therefore the amount of insurance that was requested. So we saw that reflected in the transaction volumes we saw as well. So I'm sure that's had a slightly negative impact, but at the same time, the number of claims is down, which is interesting. And of course, with the boom market that we've had for the last few years, the industry had done very well. Of course, this year's probably the opposite. Like all of us, we've all seen our assets evaporate a bit. So yeah, it's the insurance industry has been undergoing quite a bit of change. I'd say from a digital transformation perspective, it's about becoming more client-centric and delivering a higher value and faster service to clients. And that covers every aspect of the business, from the underwriting process and the speed with which you underwrite, the customer service side of the business, of course, the risk management, and then ultimately, what you do when there is a claim and how you manage that with your clients and deliver service through that. So, I think the firms have made lots of good decisions on ways in which that they can deliver great service and minimize their cost. And you see that in the form of firms setting up major centers where you can bring your vehicle after an accident, and they'll take care of all aspects of it right there, including repairs. Everything happens in this one facility.
Oh, that's very cool.
So it's a great way to manage costs, but also deliver great service.
Yeah.
Because that's been an interesting shift for some of the insurers as well.
Now, you when earlier on you mentioned combining everything from health, wealth, essentially end to end. Can you elaborate that a bit more on that? Like, what is happening there? Where they're now offering wealth services?
Yeah, I mean, I think insurance has always been a part of setting up the right kind of financial plan for a client, right? And so I think the insurers are realizing that they can operate outside of just insurance and more deliver that whole wealth experience as well. And of course, there are also the providers of all the health benefits that most of us enjoy as well, outside of our government plans, that is. So they're providing the whole gambit of service to most of the clients, and the broader and more end-to-end they can provide that, the easier it is to attract clients to their business. So I think they're recognizing that and investing to make that happen. They also see the upside of the wealth business and the profitability that they can make from that. So there's an investment there. And you mentioned MFDA and IROC earlier, and the merger of MFDA and IROC, that's certainly having an impact on the way insurers are thinking about their future as wealth providers. So,
right, is there? Are they building in-house, or are there acquisitions and mergers occurring to provide these wealth services?
I think both. I think firms are there's some acquisitions that are happening, and certainly firms are continuing to rationalize. We see that happening, but I think for a lot of these firms, they already have a sort of set of core services, and they're investing to improve the tooling and the platform that underlies that service so that they can expand it. And they can expand that organically, by either training their insurance advisors to become wealth advisors as well, which is very possible, and we see that in some areas, or to have a new advisory team and grow the advisor business using their network to take advantage of position proximity to clients.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like a bit of friendly competition for the wealth industry with insurance
I
moving
mean, I think
in.
it's always been the way, though. We've
Yeah.
always seen firms come and get rationalized, and I mean, this is certainly how the banks became market leaders in their domains through acquisition, and so I don't think it's new. I think it's just the next phase in the evolution of the business, and because the business has grown so much and the amount of assets have grown so much, there's more to go around as well. So I don't think there's a lot of firms who are suffering in this market, although this year's been a bit tougher than last year.
Yeah. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. I think with this shift to offering this end-to-end service, we've also seen big investments being put into client experiences by these
Yep.
insurance firms, making sure that front end is pleasant and digitizing as much as they can to make things more efficient.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think clients want to have access to their data, and they want when they want to see it when where they want it, right? So, and I think that's an important part of the service that you're offering now. And as we talked about earlier, the digital tools that we have at home are very good, and we're used to having access to data right away, and we don't want to wait. So the client experience has to echo the kind of experience they have from other firms or other tools that they're used to using. So that's meant a big investment, I think, for the industry. The other side of that is the advisor experience has had to improve dramatically as well, because you don't want to be in a situation where the client has more data than the advisor.
No.
So making sure both of those things happen has been, I think, a big challenge for the industry, and certainly it's not done yet. A lot of firms are still investing heavily to make that happen, which is good for us because it's the business we're in, and so that means that we're going to continue to grow and build our business, and certainly we're here to support the industry and are excited about the opportunities. So.
Perfect. Well, that answers my next question, which was going to be, do we have what they're looking for in terms of tooling and platforms, applications?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. Do we have what they're looking for? I mean, I think the industry is always evolving, right? So, and we have to always evolve as well.
Yeah.
So if I look at, what the industry was looking for last year, I think, yes, we absolutely have it. What they're having next year, what they want next year, probably we have some work to do to get there, So I think we're in a very good position relative to our competition. I think we're probably the best of the firms that we see out there. But we could always be better, and I think the industry is always asking for more. So the opportunity to do the right thing is there for the firms and us. So.
Yeah. Well, I would say that self-awareness is actually what helps us, because we're aware that there are things we need to work on.
Sure.
We need to improve to provide better experiences to our clients.
Yeah.
Whether that's insurance or wealth. So
yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we've seen a lot of the impact of fintechs on the market. The nice thing about fintechs is that they usually uncover some very, very fine slice of the industry that can be improved, but it's usually a very, very thin sliver. So it's a great idea, but unless it's part of a connective tissue that we talked about earlier, the platform, it doesn't have a lot of value, right? So this is what we've seen a lot of in the last few years, which is the fintechs pushing us and our clients to make improvements in the end-to-end process and doing it in a way that is part of a connective tissue. So it is exciting times for sure.